Hey, I'm Natasha Oates, therapist and speaker, owner of the Up Company, and I thought let's have us a chatty chat. The holidays are coming up, but that does not necessarily mean we get a break from grief. A lot of us are really hurting right now, and so I wanted to speak to that. So make sure you share this live out. This is going to be really important. People on your timeline need to see it. I took a poll on my page to get a sense of what do you feel are unhelpful things people typically say when someone has lost a loved one through death. What are some of the most unhelpful things, but they're so very common that people say? So I took a tally, and I gotta tell you, there were some that were high on the list that people kept saying over and over and over. And so I'm gonna name those particular ones. And I'm gonna save the highest for last. So some were including be strong. Be strong. Oh, so you want me to fake? You want me to pretend I'm okay? Got it. Be strong. Another one was, I know how you feel. I know how you feel. I've been there. But do you really? Do you know all the ins and outs, the complexities of my relationship? I know maybe you had your own loss and you got a sense of how hard it might be, but do you know exactly how I'm feeling right now? Another one was, if there's anything I can do. I think this also goes into the umbrella of sorry for your loss. It's just like things that people say without intention. It just feels like the right thing to say. Maybe they don't mean it. Maybe they don't know what to say, and so they're just saying it. And so people feel like it can come across very disingenuous. Some other ones were, they wouldn't want you to be sad. Don't cry. Don't cry. I think we have a hard time knowing how to deal with other people's emotions, knowing how to show up for people when they're not 100%, when they're really low. And so I think we all can become students to do a lot better in the supporting category, okay? Another one was, God won't put more on you than you can bear. God needed another angel. So a lot of, talk about God, and it's like, does God ever need anything from us? That was a comment that was on there. And he won't put more on you than what you can bear. So it kind of, for some people, it feels like, so what? So, should I not be feeling like I can't bear one more minute, one more second? Because that's my reality. And that's a big part of the grief experience. The top number one most unhelpful thing that was said to people who are grieving someone, who have lost someone through death, they are in a better place. And now these things are meant for comfort. But for a lot of people, it's like, what better place than to be right here with me? I don't want to go too deep because we all have our beliefs and yes, about heaven and all these things. But when someone's hurting, is that helpful? That's what we want to be mindful of. So let's talk tonight about the complexities of grief, okay? And I want to give a disclaimer. A lot of people are hurting right now as we're, coming close to the holiday season. And grief is not limited to death. It's not limited to losing a loved one through death. We could be going through the different stages of grief and loss and be navigating a divorce, or I lost a career that I love, and it was almost like I don't even know who I am without it. Now, no way do I want to compare that with losing a loved one. But know that a person can go through the stages of grief with other types of situations that happen. Maybe you have a relationship with a family member and you all have gone no contact. That relationship has ended because it wasn't healthy for you. There's lots of reasons people can be going through the grieving stages. Now, tonight, we're talking about, okay, I'm faced with really, really dealing with all of the complexities, all of the pain, all of the things that come with losing a loved one through death. Now, I want you to know, if you are in the early stages of the grief process, this thing is fresh. It is normal for it to feel like you're just trying to do all you can to function every 5 minutes. Like it's taking everything out of you to just be okay moment by moment by moment. That is a part of the grief experience. And I wanted to give a caveat to that. For some people, it's common for them to experience delayed grief, where maybe the loss of that relative, that friend was a long time ago. But there are different reasons people can experience delayed grief. One really common reason is maybe you were the point person for the family. Maybe you were the person that took care of all the legal stuff, making sure the accounts were where they needed to be, helping with the arrangements. You didn't have time to grieve. You needed to be the strong one in the family to console everybody else. You took on that role, or maybe you were expected to be that role. You were expected, maybe you typically are the person that your family leans on, and you went right into it. And so, you did not know how to navigate both grieving and taking care of business. And so maybe it came for you later. There can be tons of reasons why delayed grief may happen. So even if it was 20 years ago and it hits you all at once and it feels like, oh my God, just moment to moment, it's normal. It's normal. Something else that's normal is also guilt. Guilt can be a constant companion in the grieving process. That constant thinking of, what could I have done differently? Could I have said something differently? Could I have shown up differently? It is something that we all will experience, but what it really is about is a loss of control, a helplessness. It's easier to face and to deal with guilt of what we could have done differently than to face the monstrosity of this is out of my control. I have no say over this. So we want to be very intentional about forgiving ourselves when guilt comes into play, reassuring ourselves, reminding ourselves, what are the ways that we showed our love? What were the complexities that might have made it hard? Because every loved one that you lose, it's not always roses. Sometimes it's a lot of thorns, and it's like, I feel all of it. I miss them and I'm still mad. It can be really complicated depending on the relationship. Allow the complexity. Sometimes we feel guilt because I still got feelings. I never got closure. Allow the complexity. Okay. I have a packet that I give for my clients who are going through the grieving process. If this resonates with you, you know you need more. Feel free to inbox me. We'll make sure that my staff sends to you some information, a packet of information to help you in your own work. Of course, we're also accepting clients, but we don't want to leave y'all hanging. I'm really busy this season, but I said, oh my gosh, people are hurting and we need to make sure they know how to be supported. So one of the other things, when we avoid grief, sometimes the pain is so much, we want to just dig into work. We just want to get busy. We want to kind of remove ourselves as much as we can from the intensity of that experience. But grief will follow us when we avoid it. And when consider us as like a big old bag, and like we're just filling up with so much to process and to feel. And if we keep going and going and going, it's just going to keep filling and filling and filling. And when that thing pop, it's going to pop. So it's better if we give ourselves permission to just let a little air out here and there. That might look like crying to you. You know, that might look like writing a letter to them, letting a little pressure out here and there. It's important we give ourselves permission. It will pursue us. That pain, that grief, it doesn't go away because of the love that's always there. Okay. We want to allow it to, instead of pursue us, to transform us. There's Kubler-Ross stages of grief. A lot of you might be familiar with sadness, anger, bargaining, denial, acceptance, and the newest one, finding meaning. Finding meaning. We can work through grief. We can work through it. We need lots of love and support. We need lots of self-care. Piling on work. It'll help for a season. It'll help with some of that dissociation, like numbing down. But grief will chase us, right? We want to allow room to feel. We want to allow room to reflect. And we do need to keep up with a routine of what is going to help us to cope. If it's working out, I gotta stay in the gym. If it's, really getting in our creative mode, expressing through creativity. If it's just surrounding yourself with love. We have to really be diligent of how we care for ourselves. Now, there's one last thing I didn't mention. Anniversaries, important dates can be very triggering because you might feel like I was doing good. I explored my pain, the complexities of the relationship. I had outlets and self-care. But the truth is that grief doesn't erase because that love doesn't erase. And so there will be important dates that might be heavy, that might be intense, like holidays, like if you shared an anniversary together, if there were certain traditions you did together, it might be heavy. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay to be sad. And it's okay that even if it's been 20 years and it still hits hard, it's okay. Where we get concerned about, we're going to have to absolutely get some professional intervention, as if thoughts from missing them so dearly become, I want to be with them now. I don't want to be here anymore. Thoughts like that, we don't want to ignore in our loved ones. We don't want to ignore with ourselves. We want to make sure we get help. And you don't have to let it get that bad to go and see somebody. I encourage you, if this is you, if you are going through this season, to let people know what they can do to show up for you. The people who have shown that they're reliable, let them know, hey, can you watch the kids for me tonight? I'm at capacity. Can you just listen to me and let me vent and not judge me? Can you bring me a pie? I'm not eating, and I know I need to be eating. Instead of some of the unhelpful things that people have said, and I know that for some people, those sayings are helpful. For others, it may not be. What if we said, I love you. Thank you for telling me about, what you're going through. any way I can, I'm going to show up for you. These are my ideas. Can you let me know if that will work for you? I'm going to take you out. You let me know when you're ready for that. We want to be supportive. We don't want to be dismissive. And we want to let people know it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. It's okay. It's okay. And I'm here for you. If this touched you, and you know that you need some more information because you're going through this season, message us. Make sure you share this out. Don't be selfish. Share this out. Let you know, because people need to hear this. But message us. Let us know. Hey, I want that grief packet. If you want an extra touch, you want some support, we're here to support you. You can visit www.upcompany.org, www.upcompany.org. I hope this was helpful for you. I'll see you soon.